Hey there guys, King Pajama here. Today we will be looking at a not fairly old video game created by a man of culture, user Cowbelly. Links to his channels will be down below. Anyway, this game, which is called Cowhop, is a game resulted from Cowbelly's fans thinking about making a game. I am a full week late to the party, and I have a lot of things to say. Please take this with a grain of salt, because I'm rather a new player. Let's begin. Now, first, the intro. I'll read it off quickly. The year is 21XX. The world is in danger of a huge falling object from space that threatens to delete all memes on Earth. The only one who can save us is our hero, Cowbelly. But sir, the rocket is not ready yet. There is no time. I'll have to go by foot. And that's really it. We won't focus on it too much due to its small section, but it does briefly tell us some background information. Now, let's focus on the title screen. I'll pull up an image in about 3, 2, 1, and boom! Now, let's analyze it. Now, if we look at the title screen, we obviously see Cowbelly, or rather his mascot, if you will, in a spaceship. In, space. And now, if we look in the top left corner, we can see two things. First, what song is playing. This also continues in the gameplay. And, well, the title, Cowhop. If we look on the right side now, we can see my score and the weekly high score leaderboard. If we analyze my personal best, we can see I only had a measly score of 3,458, and now we can check that the lowest weekly high score is 8,000. And the man himself, Cowbelly, is number 18 at the time of recording once again. And the last thing I want to check, and pretty measly, is the version. As of writing, it was at version 0.89, but now it's updated, which is actually interesting. I couldn't find anything new. Probably most likely new items and probably buffs and nerfs and whatnot. But now we can focus on gameplay. Now the controls. On mobile at least, they seem good for a new game. It's a bit of a gray area for this review because I haven't tried it yet on a laptop or PC. So we'll see about that. But for now, let's focus on the gameplay. On paper, an infinite platformer is boring. A player jumps around endlessly until they die from the screen closing on them, time, an enemy, or falling off screen, etc. The idea of anything being infinite is boring for a main subject for a game. A minigame or something small? It works. But a full-scale game around the basis? No, it is not fun. And that's just my opinion, really. You don't have to like it or dislike them at all. And I hope my sayings won't affect your opinion either, but just a disclaimer. But Cowhop does a good job handling it. Not to say that it doesn't have flaws, which everything obviously has if you couldn't tell by now. But overall, it's good in my opinion. So the gameplay is fine. So now we're gonna check out monsters, enemies, coins, sprites. The items are very, very sparse, and I would have to delay this video a little bit to do that, so we'll just skip over them for now. Now the textures. I believe that all of the sprite art is beautiful for a pixelated game. It ranges from the background to the items to the enemies. I'll briefly run through the background. Now we're stuck in a gray area again, since I've only seen 2 backgrounds so far, but I think it's plenty enough. The first one, which is the space launcher one, you'll see in a sec, and the cloud one, which is playing on screen right now. I think they're equally very good, but I do prefer the cloud one, because it looks more, well, natural, you could say. But in general, I do believe the backgrounds are very good for this game, so that's all, folks, for the background. Now, I'll run through the enemies as a little subcategory, you could say. There's 2 enemies, and a variant of one of them, which I'll check out too. There's first the weird walking one, and the flying one, and the golden one of the walking one. Yeah, the flying one doesn't have a golden yet. The walking one sprite is supposed to be cute, I guess. It's kind of wonky looking, but okay. And next we have the flying one, which is a total monstrosity, but you gotta have that in your infinite jumper. And now with the cute, ugly walking Mike Wazowski, we have a golden variant of it, which is strange because the other one doesn't so far. I can't really tell. And plus it might update soon and add a golden one, but it makes sort of sense. But the golden one, it's literally just golden. That's all I have. It looks good. It's a good contrast from the original palette, you could say. Now, time to review the items. I'll only review 3 to keep things simplistic, but once again, it's all we need. Now, for the crying Nimbus, I really like its design and its, personality. It's crying, obviously, like the name would say. So, I don't know, crying, kind of funny, I guess. So, 8 out of 10. Now, the devil horns. They look very similar to the classic devil horns, but, I like the red takes on it, so, I don't know, man. 8 out of 10, too. Now, the Midas touch. It's very boring and very similar to the original one depicted. I have not much to say about it. It's just not very original, so 7 out of 10. Now, your character. He's good. I like the cow valley in this game. It's interesting. 9 out of 10. Boom. Really good. I like the jumping animation and whatnot. It's good. Okay? Now for this section, I'd like to talk about the enemies and their mechanics first. Rather, we've already described them, so let's just say what they do. The walking one is just your standard Goomba. Yeah, that's it. Just a fresh coat of... And the flying one is the typical flying one, sort of. It swoops down and tries to get you. It uses following code, most likely. And that's it. Now, the mechanics they bring is an alert system on the top of the screen, which you can see here, like the walking one. Another thing they do is can help the player jump higher, like seen on screen now, for a second. The interesting mechanics let the player know when they're there, and actually want to make the player kill them, or stomp on them, or whatever. Now, the items mechanic in this game varies from different ones, but they're all kind of average, sort of. So, let's just discuss the ones from before, shall we? Now, the crying Nimbus, when you stomp or jump off an enemy, makes you jump higher at first. When killing an enemy with the devil horns, you'll be able to kill them from underneath by jumping below them. And the last one we'll talk about is the Midas touch. It gives you, about 1 or 2 extra coins when you kill an enemy. And that's the last of the items in this video. The reason I'm only doing 3 is to keep things simple, because this video would be an extra 20 minutes long if I probably discussed all of them. So let's just not do that, shall we? Now, let's discuss the hearts and coins. How fair is the system, and how do they work? Okay, first the hearts. The heart is a life system, and you only have 3, and it's a game over. Simple thing. Coins can be exchanged for items, which come in boxes, which are random, and it helps you during the round by giving you, quote-unquote, superpower. The character has simple mechanics, including a double jump and simple gravity. It doesn't change throughout it, unless they have an item. And that's the end of all the mechanics of, co-op. Very simplified for a short video, so now let's talk about how good the music is. The music in video games gets me very intrigued because there's so many different styles. If we can argue that's a genre, it's definitely my favorite. But Cowpop does an incredible job with its soundtrack. To demonstrate, I'll just shush for a couple minutes to show you how good it is. This song is called 69,420 points. As you can tell from the end of that track, the music is pretty good. It's lo-fi, technically, if you don't argue that video game music is its own genre, but I really find it intriguing and it helps me play the game a lot. I like it very much and it's one of my favorites. Not all of them are my favorite. Just enjoy the music for another minute, shall we? The song's title is Crab Rave, not to be confused with Noise Storm's one. It's supposed to be a low joke. Links to Cowbelly's channels will be down in the description. Please go support him. And now, my final thoughts on this entire game. Now, through all we've been through reviewing this game, from the items, the textures, the music, the graphics, the everything, I have one last sentence to say. I find this game a 9 out of 10. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. And share with your closest memer friends, and comment down below what would you think about this game and what would you give it. Make sure to check Cowbelly and his other channel down below, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.